Walk to my car. I'm not asking you again.
What's your problem?
No,
What's your
you get back in the car.
What's
Get back
your
in the
problem,
car.
dude?
We pulled in across the street. Come back here. You're
What's
making
your
this
problem?
I'm not going to.
Police pull you over for a routine traffic stop until the cop looks at you suspiciously and says, "Get out of the car." What you say and do in the next few seconds will determine if you drive away or end up in handcuffs. What if one sentence could protect your freedom? What you say in the first 10 seconds to police can change everything. Most people accidentally give up their rights. Don't be one of them. This is what the law actually says versus what people think it says. In a routine traffic stop, nothing feels dangerous at first, but what happens next is where most people make their biggest mistake without even realizing it. A few words, a nervous explanation, trying to be nice, or trying to talk your way out of trouble. And just like that, you may have already given up your rights without knowing it. Today, I'm breaking down exactly what to say, what not to say, and what the United States Constitution really protects you from. Because the truth is simple. You don't need to argue with police. You don't need to fight with police. But you do need to know your rights before you ever roll down that window. Before we continue with this video, please like, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell for updates. The moment police stop you, your rights are already in play. The biggest mistake people make? Talking too much. Silence can be your strongest legal weapon. The instant the lights flash behind you, your adrenaline spikes, your heart starts racing, and in that moment, most people feel like they have to explain everything. Where you're going, why you were speeding, what you were doing earlier, even things unrelated to the stop. But legally, that is exactly where people start losing control of the situation. Here's what you should do instead. Stay calm. Keep your hands visible on the steering wheel. Do not make sudden movements. And most importantly, do not argue. If the officer begins asking questions that go beyond basic identification, you can calmly say, "Officer, I am invoking my right to remain silent." Then stop talking. No extra explanation, no filler words, no emotional reactions. Because under the Fifth Amendment of the United States Constitution, you have the right to avoid self-incrimination. That means you are not required to answer questions that could potentially be used against you later. Now, let's be very clear. Action right is calmly stating your right to remain silent. Action wrong is arguing, oversharing, or trying to explain your way out. Because the more you talk, the more information you give, and the more that information can be interpreted, twisted, or misunderstood. Silence is not guilt. Silence is protection. Police may ask, but that doesn't mean you must agree. One word can protect your privacy. Consent is where most people lose their rights. At some point during a stop, you may hear something like, "Do you mind if I take a look in your car?" And this is where everything changes. Because legally, officers can ask, but you are not obligated to say yes. If you agree, you are giving permission, and once permission is given, anything found can often be used against you. So what do you say? "I do not consent to any searches." That's it. Clear, calm, respectful. Do not physically resist. Do not argue. Do not escalate. Your power is in your words, not your actions. Under the Fourth Amendment, you are protected from unlawful searches and seizures. That means your property, your vehicle, and your personal space cannot be searched without consent, probable cause, or a warrant. But here's the key mistake most people make. Silence can sometimes be misinterpreted, and casual phrases like, "I guess it's fine," or "I don't care," can be taken as consent. So be direct. Action right is "I do not consent to any searches." Action wrong is saying sure, go ahead, or staying unclear. Because in these moments, clarity is protection. Police may ask to search your car. You are not required to open the door. Your car has the highest level of protection under the law. Opening that door can change everything. Your car is not just anything, it is legally considered your most protected space. If police knock on your door, your first instinct may be to open it, but legally you have options. You can stay inside and speak through the door or a barrier, and the first question you should ask is simple. Do you have a warrant? If they do not have a warrant, you are generally not required to let them search. If they do have one, they must present it. This is where the Fourth Amendment becomes extremely important. It protects you from unlawful entry into your car or home without proper legal authority. And here's what you should remember. You are allowed to be respectful and still protect your rights at the same time. You are not being difficult. You are being informed. Action right is asking for a warrant and staying inside. Action wrong is opening the door immediately without asking questions. Because once the door is open, control shifts dramatically. Knowing your rights isn't about being difficult, it's about being protected. The law is powerful, but only if you understand how to use it. Most people lose their rights not because they did something wrong, but because they didn't know what to say in the moment. And those first few seconds during a stop, they matter more than most people will ever realize. Because calm words can protect you, and careless words can create problems you never expected. If you learned something today, subscribe, because the next time this happens, it won't be a video, it'll be real life. If you feel pressured or threatened, sometimes officers may use urgency, like if you don't cooperate, things will get worse. This is where fear takes over most people, but here's what you must remember. Stay calm, do not escalate. Repeat your statement if needed. I am remaining silent. I do not consent to searches. You are not required to fill silence with words, because pressure is not proof, and urgency is not automatically legality. If you are detained or arrested. If you are being detained, your rights matter more than ever. At this stage, things change. You should immediately stop explaining anything. Do not try to convince. Do not argue your innocence. Instead, say clearly, I want a lawyer. This is one of the most important legal protections you have. After this point, you should remain silent, because continuing to talk without legal counsel can complicate your situation, even if you did nothing wrong.